Good morning students. In the previous class we have seen the basics of electric field intensity due to single charge, multiple charges, circular charged conductor and sphere of charge. In this class we are going to see how to derive an expression for the electric field intensity in case of line charge density, and the analysis for the same is also given over here. Now derive an expression for electric field intensity at any point P due to uniformly charged wire of length L meter having a charge density of rho L coulomb per meter square. Here the diagram is shown over here. Now you can consider the uniform charged wire of length L meter. So let AB be the length of the wire. This we can start to analyze in Y and Z Cartesian coordinated system. This is going to be a y axis and this is going to be your z axis. Here we are going to derive an expression for electric field intensity at any point P due to uniformly charged wire of L meter. Now let us consider the uniformly charged wire B8B. So this is your uniformly charged wire. Here you are going to distribute the charges uniformly all along the length of the wire of L meter. Now if you don't know the exact length of the wire, and if it is of if it is of longer in length, then you have to consider a differential elemental length in case of your line charge density or surface charge density or volume charge density. To have the analysis towards your electric field intensity or electric flux density, you need to consider the differential elemental length in case of line charge density. In case of surface charge density, you have to consider a differential surface area. In case of volume charge density, we need to consider a differential volume element. Likewise, in this line charge density, you are going to consider a differential elemental length at point C. So when you consider a differential elemental length at point C, this is the point where we need to identify your electric field intensity. So this is the point where, because of this, what is the amount of electric field intensity that is going to exerted at point P. So this is going to your effect, and this point C is going to be your effect. From starting point of the conductor to the point under consideration, the angle made is going to be theta 1, that is the initial value of theta. From final point of the conductor to the point under consideration, the angle made is going to be theta 2. So in between this only you are going to consider the reference point C. From reference point C to the point under consideration, we need to identify the value of electric field intensity. So this is your cause and this is going to be your effect. So between cause and effect, the distance made is R. And here there will be two values of electric field intensity. One electric field intensity towards your y-axis and the other electric field intensity towards the z-axis. Therefore, the net electric field intensity is going to be the summation of vector sum of the electric field intensity along your y-axis and the electric field intensity along your z-axis. Now here we have assumed the line charge density, because in the problem it is given uniformly charged wire of length L meter having a charge density of rho L coulomb per meter square. So when it is given a line charge density, it is going to be charge distributed over the length of the line. In this we have assumed a differential elemental length. So if the length is assumed to be differential, the charge distributed towards that particular point will also be differential. So we can get rho L is equal to dq divided by dl. Then the general form of your electric field intensity is going to be q divided by 4 pi epsilon r square into ar vector. And this is the electric field intensity at point P because of the differential charge element. So this is the normal charge element. If you are going to assume a differential elemental length, the charge is going to be differential, then the electric field intensity will also become differential. Therefore, you will get the differential electric field intensity dE is equal to dq divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. Next, from this equation, in the place of dq, you have to substitute rho L into dl. So dE is equal to rho L into dl divided by 4 pi epsilon r square. Next, this is the general form as rho L into dl. dl is nothing but differential elemental length. In this, the differential elemental length is at point C, which is equal to dz into az, because it is all along your z-axis direction. Therefore, you will get from figure 1, the total electric field intensity dE vector will be the vector sum of your electric field intensity along your z-axis direction and the vector sum of the electric field intensity along your y-axis direction. Therefore, dE vector is equal to dEy into ay plus dEz into az vector. From a triangle PXY, it means that this is the point under consideration. In this point, we are going to identify the value of electric field intensity from this triangle OCP. From this triangle, we need to identify what is the angle sin theta and what is cos theta. Why? Because we need to, here we can identify sin theta is equal to DEY. So this is the triangle. So here I can take the triangle as reference as from PXY. So PXY in the sense this point. So from this triangle, sin theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. So DEY divided by DE for this particular triangle. In the same triangle, what is your cos theta? Cos theta is going to be adjacent by hypotenuse. That is, which is your adjacent part? Opposite. Adjacent part is going to be DEZ. So DEZ divided by DE. DEY is equal to, therefore, the electric field intensity along your y-axis and z-axis can be written as DEY is equal to, from these two equations, you can write what is your DEY and what is your DEZ. So DEY is equal to DE into sin theta and DEZ is equal to DE into cos theta. DEY is equal to, in the place of DE, you can substitute from equation 4, you can substitute the value of DE over here. When you substitute, you will get rho L dZ divided by 4 pi epsilon r square sin theta into AY vector. It is all along your z-axis direction, y-axis direction. Therefore, from EY is equal to rho L divided by 4 pi epsilon, it is going to be common, and this differential, this DZ is nothing but differential elemental length along your z-axis direction. This differential elemental length can vary from point A to point B. Therefore, the integration falls from point A to point B. dz divided by r square. R is the distance between the cause and effect, sin theta AY vector. Next is your from triangle OCP. That is, from this particular triangle, we need to identify what is your cos theta and what is your sin theta from this triangle. Okay. Why? Because we need to identify the value of z. This because this is d z, I have to identify, and I need to identify the value of r. Why we are focusing only on z parameter and r parameter? In the sense, when you vary the dz term from point A to point B, the value of r is going to vary. So based on the variation of dz, the value of r will also vary. For example, if this is going to be the length of the conductor AB, first time if this is going to be the point P, consider this is going to be the length of the conductor. Okay, it is going to be the point P. If you are assuming the point differential elemental length at this place, here the value of r is going to be this one, because in between your cause and effect, the r will fall, and this is going to be your angle theta. Suppose if I am varying the differential elemental length to this particular point, here from this to here the r will vary, and this is going to be your dz. Therefore, the value of dz can be vary from starting point of the conductor to the end point of the conductor. That is all along the length of your conductor of L meter. So if you are doing so, then the value of dz and the value of r will get vary. Therefore, from this particular triangle, we need to identify what is sin theta and cos theta to identify the value of dz. Okay. So after identifying, we'll be getting an equation. Therefore, Ey will be rho L divided by 4 pi epsilon between the limit theta 1 to theta 2. Why between the limit theta 1 to theta 2? In the sense, because the differential elemental length can vary from point A to point B. So if you are keeping the differential elemental length at point A, the value of angle is going to be theta 1. If the differential elemental length is going to be at point B, the value of theta is going to be theta 2. So only the limit varies from theta 1 to theta 2. After substituting, the value of electric field intensity along y-axis is found to be rho L divided by 4 pi epsilon into r cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1 into ay vector. So this is the electric field intensity along your z-axis direction. But the net electric field intensity will be the electric field intensity, that is the vector sum of electric field intensity along y-axis direction and the electric field intensity along z-axis direction. And again DEZ, that is electric field intensity along your z-axis is going to be dE into cos theta. In the place of dE, we need to substitute the value of rho L dZ divided by 4 pi epsilon r square cos theta, and the direction is going to be minus AZ. Why? Because here it is the point towards from the point the value of electric field intensity is going to be DEY, and here the value of electric field intensity is going to be DEZ. Since the direction is opposite to the positive z-axis direction, here we have to write it as minus AZ. So when you substitute it, you will get the DEZ as rho L divided by 4 pi epsilon into r sin theta 2 minus sin theta 1. Therefore, the total electric field intensity at point P is going to be EY plus EZ, which is nothing but rho L divided by 4 pi epsilon r cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1 AY sin theta 2 minus sin theta 1 into AZ. Here three conditions we have to check, that is for an infinite length of the conductor, for the finite length of the conductor, and if you have one point of the conductor and the plane on the same plane, then what will be the answer. So for the first one, if the conductor is of infinite length, the theta 1 value and theta 2 value is going to be substituted as pi and 0. At that moment, the electric field intensity is going to be rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon into r AY vector. For the second case is going to be if the point and one end of the conductor. So here you have to be very careful. Point and one end of the conductor. If you consider this is to be the conductor, if point and one end of the conductor are on the same plane, suppose if this is going to be the point, here from starting point to the point under consideration, it is the point and one end of the conductor are on the same plane, then theta 1 will be 90 and theta 2 will be theta 2 only. And we will get the answer as E is equal to rho L divided by 4 pi epsilon into r cos theta 2 into AY vector plus sine of theta 2 minus theta 1 into AZ vector. Suppose if point P is perpendicular. So here point P is perpendicular from the midpoint of the conductor. This is going to be the conductor. If point P is midway, then from starting point of the conductor to the point under consideration, this is going to be theta 1 and this is going to be theta 2. So theta 1 is 180 minus theta 2. So after substituting, you will get the electric field intensity as rho L divided by 2 pi epsilon r cos theta 2 into AY vector. Thank you, students.